All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. It is 9 Minutes with me on IGTV, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure you hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports and download my ML Sports Platter podcast via Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Had a great guest on today, Jason Barrett, president of Barrett Sports Media. He's been a radio consultant, a former program director. We got into all kinds of cool stuff, best radio shows, best monologues, his career, where we're heading with all the sports media now. It was very, very fascinating conversation, so make sure you listen to that. I am here, familiar place, of course. You've seen it before. Right here at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. I am getting ready to have a club sandwich. Mike tells me it's roast beef, ham, and turkey. Cannot wait for that. And they've got an array of awesome menu items for lunch and for dinner. Their wings are delicious, and they have all-you-can-eat boneless wings, steak, and spaghetti and meatball specials throughout the week. And they've also got an opportunity for you to stop next door and place some bets on the ponies. They've got all the monitors up, of course, across the board and all the favorite sporting events of yours. Great place for a business meeting, great place to come after work and just have a beer and relax. And make sure you join me here on November 3rd for a Breeders' Cup, Syracuse, Wake Forest, and college football watch party. We're going to have all-you-can-eat cheese pizza for everybody who comes here, along with the swag and the giveaways and all the rest, and $2 can special. So it's going to be a very, very good time on November 3rd. All right, let's get to it. I suppose I have to talk about the World Series, as much as it pains me to have freaking the Red Sox in the final set here. Get started tonight at 8:09 at Fenway Park. I can't imagine what that scene's going to be like. I can't imagine what the World Series is going to be like for people who are going. It's going to be fascinating to me. There's a couple storylines I want to get to. I'm going to give you a pick, and then I'm going to give you my X factors in this World Series. I think a couple of the storylines, I think number one is Clayton Kershaw. I mean, I think when you're looking at Clayton Kershaw right now, he's a guy who is going to go down as one of the great pitchers of this generation. He might go down as the greatest one. I think Max Scherzer's making a push on it too, but it's probably Kershaw at the end of the day. But what has held Clayton Kershaw back? Well, he doesn't have a World Series. It's that he hasn't dominated in October baseball. And I will tell you that he pitched really well in the NLCS last time out, 7 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts. He's had little moments where he's done it, but he hasn't done it consistently. I mean, is there a bigger, better stage right here, right now for Clayton Kershaw in the World Series? I mean, this is the biggest of all the stages in the sport. When you get to the final round, you get to the championship set, this would be a great time for him to go out and outduel Chris Sale tonight, grab game one, stranglehold of the series, and send a major message to the Boston Red Sox. In addition to the Kershaw storyline, I think you've obviously got to take a peek at Sal being a storyline here. Remember the whole belly button ring thing and all the rest. I heard Kevin Millar on today with the Dan Patrick podcast, and he simply said, well, it was a nice little distraction away from him being, getting hurt all the time with, the arm and the elbow and this and that and the other thing. Just maybe point towards the navel area instead. But should be interesting to see how Chris Sale pitches tonight. The other thing to keep an eye on in this World Series too is, Los Angeles playing on the East Coast and in October baseball. I mean, when's the last time LA played in frigid weather, right? I mean, when? I mean, they played in Chicago. They played in many other Northeast cities the last few years. They've gone through playoff runs and played. But as far as this particular year, the last time, I can't really remember it. I mean, they played Milwaukee in the NLCS. And before that, they played the Atlanta Braves. So they've been playing in warm climate for at least about a month. And the Red Sox have been playing in colder climates. So that's going to be an interesting one there as well. I'm also fascinated in this World Series in terms of the venues. You have Fenway Park and Dodger Stadium, two of the iconic venues in all of baseball. And probably two of the top three, actually, the other one being Wrigley Field. And then from there, you can kind of take your pick. But the reality of the situation is these venues are so distinctly different, by the way. The similarity is that they are two iconic parks, Fenway being more iconic and old and tradition-rich than Dodger Stadium. But they are completely and utterly different when you look at dimensions. You look at the pesky pole up along the right foul pole. You can hit a little bit of a pole job, a little rope pull it across, and the ball goes out. You've got the wacky dimensions in left center field, and then the right center field situation, and the bullpen in the back. You've got the green monster. I mean, there's just so much going on at Fenway Park, and there's no team, in my opinion, that plays better to their respective ballpark than the Boston Red Sox. And then you go to Dodger Stadium, it becomes the cavernous Dodger Stadium, where maybe the power of the Red Sox will die at the warning track a little bit. I don't know. The Dodgers obviously used to playing there. As far as X factors in this World Series go, I'm going to give you Craig Kimbrell of the Boston Red Sox. He's the one guy out of the bullpen Red Sox fans just do not trust. He almost gave away Game 4 against the New York Yankees in the ALDS. They would prefer to get a bunch of great innings from their starters and then try to bridge it, and not have to use Kimbrell, I'm sure, in one-run situations. Because, look, Red Sox fans just cringe when the guy goes in there. I don't expect him to be back with the team next year, but he's an X factor because being that it's a bullpen game, now granted, you need some starting pitching to complement that bullpen, but Craig Kimbrell is an absolute X factor because if he goes out and plays well, that means that Boston literally has no weaknesses whatsoever. The LA Dodgers, in the meantime, I still look at Yasiel Puig. I know that this lineup is so deep that you can forget about Puig because you have Machado and you have Bellinger and you have other Justin Turner and you've got all these big-time players. I realize that you can forget about a guy by the name of Yasiel Puig. But if you think about the boomer bust situation, you think about the 30 home run potential, you think about when the Dodgers win a big game, Yasiel Puig is involved. He gets a big double, he gets a big base hit, he gets a huge home run. That's what happened against Milwaukee, and they won the game and they won the series. So Yasiel Puig, to me, again, a guy you can put in there at 4 or 5, you can hit him at 7 as well. Yasiel Puig, to me, is the X factor of the LA Dodgers. I think their bullpen's going to be okay. Kenley Jansen's one of the best closers in the game. Their starting pitching is super deep and super rich. Their lineup, of course, is versatile and deep and all the rest. These are easily the 2 best teams in Major League Baseball. Sometimes it doesn't occur this way. Maybe you get a hot team late and they oust somebody in the postseason, but maybe they're not quite the best team, or maybe we just question it a little bit more. There's no question about these 2 teams. They're both the best teams. They're both the best. It's the 2 best teams in the World Series. They both deserve to be here. And I will say that I picked the Dodgers to win the World Series in the beginning of the season, but I had Cleveland going from the American League. This Boston Red Sox team has been an absolute juggernaut, and I think that the beat goes on. I think that the city of champions, Boston, Massachusetts, for as much as it pains me, they're going to get another title because I just can't see anybody stopping Boston. The Red Sox are great at home. They've got the home field advantage. There's something in the air there. Alex Cora pulls all the right moves. So I think that the Red Sox win this in 6 games, and it'll be another World Series. It'll be 4 World Series at that point since 2004. The Patriots, 8 Super Bowl appearances, 5 wins. Boston Bruins Stanley Cup, Boston Celtics championship. The last 17, 18 years, no town has dominated the way Boston and the New England area have. So should be an interesting World Series. We'll see how much I tune into it. Dodgers, Red Sox tonight, Game 1, 8:09, Chris Sale and Clayton Kershaw. I'm Mike Lindsley. It is a great pleasure here from the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. I'm chatting with you 9 minutes with me on IGTV, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. And, of course, get me on Snapchat and Instagram, Mike L Sports 1979. And you can download my podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just download the ML Sports Platter. All the new episodes will come right in to your phone. And make sure you come here on November 3rd for my big event for the Breeders' Cup watch party, Syracuse, Wake Forest, and college football all day long. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.